This cornerback class may be better than last season. There's a lot of quality corners in this class, and I'm only going to give you my top 10. So if you want to see my full rankings, you go to ftfn.com, Fan to Fan Network, baby. The link will be in the description below. I got 43 guys overall on my rankings. Keep in mind, I got some guys that I said shouldn't declare, so I didn't put them on my actual 2021 rankings, and I think they may return for the 2021 season to help their stock. But I'm gonna give you my top 10. This has been an incredibly tough class to really, I don't want to say evaluate, but to like rank, like trying to put one guy ahead of the next. And I mean, I love the cornerback position, probably one of my most favorite positions to actually evaluate. And it's tough. It is very tough. So I can guarantee you there's going to be a guy that you think should be higher on my board, and I don't disagree. But let me know in the comment section below, and also while you're at it, become a bro and subscribe. What's crackalackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So I guess I should go into my little spiel. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. It really costs you nothing, and once you're here, you won't want to leave. I got a great community, and you know what? I'm not half bad. I might have some bad takes, but who doesn't? I'm not half bad. Leave a thumbs up, and go ahead, leave a comment in the video. It really helps the video a ton, so I encourage you to go do that. It really means the world to me. But let's go ahead, and let's do the diggity dawn thing, man. Let's get into this, because, like I said, this is a very good class. So we're going to start with Eric Stokes here out of Georgia. And he's a guy that, honestly, I can see coming back in 2022. Currently, I got a third round grade on him. I think he could definitely be a first rounder. He definitely can be a first rounder. I think he might just need another season, because I have Tyson Campbell, his teammate, higher than him. For this simple reason. Tyson Campbell often is seeing the number one receiver. Stokes is not. That doesn't really, I don't want to say that takes away from Stokes. It does a bit, but he's still facing like very tough competition. I mean, the SEC is no joke, but Campbell is facing, again, typically the other team's number one. I think that what really kind of does it for me. But this guy, and I think I would say Campbell is more athletic. But I mean, I'll get into Campbell when we get there. When it comes to Stokes, he's not the most smooth athlete. Not to say he's not a bad athlete, but I don't think he's entirely the most smooth athlete. And I do worry about his size. He's only 185. You kind of want to hope they get to that 195, 200 area, because like I think there is. I don't want to say there's a lack of strength, but I think he might not be strong enough to hold up against bigger wide receivers in the NFL, and I kind of worry about that, because this guy, he's primarily a press man corner. What I really want to see from him this season, outside of, because I mean, it's not okay. You don't have to necessarily be the strongest, because this guy, his hand usage at the line is phenomenal, man. He gets in their hitbox, knocks their momentum off. What I really wanted to see was him become more of a playmaker, more of like just making plays on the ball. And that's typically tough for guys that play press man, because typically you're not seeing the ball until it's basically there. You're not turning around until basically it's there at the catch point, you know? But he's done very, very well, dude. The guy, I think he has 4 interceptions, 2 pass breakups this year. He's done a phenomenal job. So I don't really have a question his playmaking. I think he only has 3 penalties on the season. But again, that Georgia, the way Georgia teaches their corners to play, it's a more rough, more physical style, and typically they'll get called for a lot of that in the NFL. So I do carry that concern. I guess it's a bit of a bias I have towards Georgia corners, but I think Stokes is a phenomenal prospect, and just saying, man, I think he could be a first rounder if he decides to come back for one more season. Then I got Roger McCrary out of Auburn. This guy is he's got a great combination of speed and just athleticism. Good. It's actually got some really good strength, given he's only like I say only 188. That's still typically if you're 190 and above, you know, it's like, yeah. But I think a lot of his I would say a lot of his tools are similar to other Auburn corners like Noah Igbignagani, Jameel Dean, though Jameel Dean was way more freakier in terms of that, a little bigger too. But McCrary, you definitely see it. The thing with him is he's still raw in terms of his technique. I mean, he's got great length, but again, technique means a lot. But you see the playmaking ability from him. He has 3 interceptions, one being a pick 6 he did on the season opener, 5 pass breakups. He has allowed 5 touchdowns. Keep in mind, this kid's playing in the ACC. ACC be tough, yo. It really does. He has the traits to play press man, but I think he's much better as an off-ball or zone corner. But yeah, man, this guy, again, I think that rawness, while he just reminds me a lot of Noah Igbignagani, and seeing how teams kind of jumped at him, like being my Dolphins. Hey, my Dolphins, man. What can I say? Jumped at him in the late first round. I could definitely see this guy jump into the second round. Currently, 3rd round grade though. Let's talk about Elijah Molden, dude, because I love this cat as a prospect, man. The thing is, because like he falls into the category of like slot only, but that's not really the case because he's played plenty of deep safety. He can play in the box. He does have 5 missed tackles this season, but for the most part, like he is actually a solid tackler. Really good against the run. He's got great short area quickness, which you think that, and it's like, okay, that's he's a slot, but his movement skills are top notch. That's why I say he could play deep. He gives you that like kind of that Desmond King type of versatility, and he wasn't a guy I was too high on going into the season. And I'm not saying his play this season has really changed my mind. I just feel like I've kind of opened my mind up to that versatility that he brings to the table, being more valuable than I probably originally gave it credit for. So Molden, man, I'm in with it. The dude's got great instincts and he has a ton of experience. So honestly, I look back at this and I was like, how can I hate this guy as a prospect? I can't. Not that I hated him. I just, you get into that mind of slot only, and you got to look at it at full context, man. You got to look at it at full context. Let's talk about Shaun Wade, man. Let's talk about Shaun Wade. So what he needed to prove this season is he can play on the outside. That was kind of the biggest thing. He needed to be able to play on the outside, because coming into the season, he only had 12 snaps at an outside corner. So like typically, like the guy, he's got pretty elite athleticism and length. He's good at playing the run, but so it's like everything, you're hearing this is okay. So slot box safety, but hey, we need to see it. And so how's he fared since the Penn State game? Not half bad. Penn State, he got annihilated. He got 8 and up. Let's see how many total yards he ended up giving. It was like over 140. Over 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Penn State against Dotson, who the thing is with him, dude, that's another receiver. It was a bit undersized, so you're hoping he could use that length to his advantage and his size. But he's, for the most part, he's been pretty solid for the remainder of the season. He's still making plays on the ball, at least decent enough. Like for what it is, they've only played 5 games, so like what he only has about a little over 250 snaps at outside corner, which is like, is that enough to sell you on him as a first rounder? Like, will he be able to play it on a high level on the boundary? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I was kind of hoping they'd get a full 8 games. I mean, you know what? If I'm really hoping that Ohio State wins the Big Ten, since now they'll be allowed to play in the Big Ten. Because I really want to. I think he needs to be in the playoffs. He needs to be in the playoffs. I need to see him against much better competition. Not saying it like Indiana, because Indiana got a few. I got a few decent prospects on that squad. Just after that Dotson game, I need to see him against just the epitome of competition. So my biggest fear, why I have the second round grade on him, is I think he might be pigeonholed into a slot role, which is fine, you know, but it's not. If you are, you're not a first rounder. And then I got a Santi Samuel Jr., man. Dude has elite athleticism, man. His instincts, they ain't on par with his daddy. His dad is a bit of a ball hawk. As a Dolphins fan, I got nightmares, night terrors. I often think of Santi Samuel pick sixes. Oh gosh, terrifying. But again, elite athleticism, dude. He effortlessly can jump from slot to outside. And best part about it, dude, he's willing participant. For the most part, like, he's solid against the run. But he's just a ball hawk, dude. He's a playmaker. Like, straight up. He ended up opting out for the remainder of the season, but I think he had at least like 6 or 7 games under his belt, I believe. Oh, whoops. Misspelled Florida. Let's see this real quick. No, he ended up playing 8 games, dude. And 3 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. The guy was a stud, dude. He only allowed a completion percentage he allowed it under 60%. Ooh, 5 penalties though. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, man. I really like him. His height's really what's probably gonna hurt him, being 5'10", 184. So that might cost him a first. Like, in my mocks, I kind of flirt with him as a late first rounder. But I mean, I think realistically, we'll see him come off the board maybe early to mid first round. But he's a phenomenal prospect. Now, let's talk about Darius Kendrick, dude. This guy has taken such a big leap from 2019. You definitely see more discipline in his game. Definitely more discipline. He's only allowed a completion percentage of 33% this year. I wouldn't say much of a, like, I think he can be a playmaker. I don't know, but like, yeah, I guess I'll say playmaker, ball hawk, but it's just teams don't throw his way this year. Like, he's been that dang good. And like, even going back to the national championship, I think he played Jamar Chase much better than AJ Terrell. And AJ Terrell, I thought, did a very good job. I mean, you could go back and look at my cornerback videos from the 2020 draft, and the amount of defending I did for AJ Terrell, dude. But this guy, keep in mind, I think he does have good ball skills. They just don't throw his way. He's a former receiver, so he's going to be great at defending the catch point. As far as, I still think he needs a little improvement in his technique, but he's far more disciplined by comparison to his 2022 tape. Like, often, or 2019 tape, often you'd see him like kind of like drifting off. Drifting off into off where he's supposed to be in coverage, drifting out of his zone, I would say. But the guy's been impressive this year. He's only allowed 7 catches. Yeah, the dude has been good. I think he's gonna be highly sought out, and I got a first round grade on him. Now let's talk about Tyson Campbell, since I kind of talked about it with Eric Stokes. I would say his one bad game this year was against Alabama, and I'm willing to give him a mulligan on that, because Alabama doing that to everybody, not just him. My condolences. So I'm willing to call him mulligan, but I love his athleticism. I love his length. I would like to see him add maybe 10 pounds. But I do have that fear because he has 4 penalties this season, and I think he's going to suffer more than Eric Stokes does from the aggressive play. But I think as far as, like, if he stays that aggressive, it's going to be penalties. We saw that with DeAndre Smart. Is it DeAndre Baker? There we go. DeAndre Baker in the NFL. Before, let's not get into it. But he's become a better playmaker. That's what I really want to see. And I talked about with Stokes, where you have these press man corners. They don't often get a chance to make plays on the ball. You know, they're just trying to get in the receiver's face and meet him at the catch point. But he's been much better as a playmaker in a playmaker this season, and contesting and making plays at the catch point. I think he's been pretty locked down. If you take out the stupid Alabama game, like, I think he's allowed under like 100 yards combined in coverage if you discount the Alabama game. And you'd be like, well, great, you're gonna take away his only competition. Oh, that doesn't seem fair. It's like, dude, that's an unrealistic standard to have. If you look at the rest of the SEC, just saying, I feel like that's a solid mulligan to have. I mean, take it for real. I know a lot of people don't like. There's a lot of people that out there just don't like Campbell as a prospect. But I do. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think he's gonna be good for any cover 2 scheme. So yeah, let's talk about JC Horn, dude, because this guy, he has flown up a lot of people's boards. And you know what? I said this before the or during the off season, when people were giving me crap about where I ranked Israel Mukwamu, because I had both him and Horn as 5th rounders. And I said, honestly, Horn's the better prospect, and I think he has potential to be a 1st rounder, but I said in 2022. Well, he was really stepped up his game. The big thing I wanted to see from him was probably ball skills. I've been searching for that word this whole time. I just kept saying playmaker, ball hawk, ball skills. I want to see ball skills from him this season. He's done that, granted. It's really come before he decided to opt out. It came in his final, I think, 2 or 3 games is really when he put those ball skills on display. Actually, a majority of them just came against Auburn, where he just shut down Seth Williams. And my concern there, because like Seth Williams, a lot of people really like Seth Williams. I'm not a big Seth Williams fan. The guy struggles to get separation. He's not great at the contested catch point. Granted, Bo Nix is not great at making balls catchable for his receivers. So while people look at that like, oh, that's impressive, I look at it as like, okay, he could deal with size. But you know what? The guy he's got very refined technique, especially compared to Mukwamu. And he's pretty good. He's 6'1", 205. Like, that's pretty good size, dude. That's pretty good size. I think he's going to be pretty solid at the combine. So I think that definitely warrants a 1st rounder for him. I was a little hesitant last time I did my rankings to put him on the list, but after that Auburn game, I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. But yeah, really looking back, dude, that's really the only game he had like that he actually displayed ball skills. No interceptions or pass breakups in any game outside of that. So there's your red flag. Not a big one though. Like, he played Florida actually pretty good too. He only allowed 22 yards. He was only targeted 3 times. So, I mean, there's a lot to like. He was only targeted 24 times over how many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, average 4 targets a game. Yeah, that's not bad. So, yeah, I like Horn. Let's talk about these next 2 because they're kind of 1A, 1B, kind of sort of. I currently have Patrick Surtain, the 2nd, ranked below Caleb Farley. And I don't think that's going to change until the combine. So hear me out. I love freaking Surtain, dude. He is a great prospect. He hasn't allowed any game he hasn't allowed 50 yards in any game this season. He's only done it twice in his career. This guy's been a 3-year starter. What people are going to hit him at is the speed, because the production's there. He's one of the best press corners in the league. He's actually one of the best deep ball defenders in the league as well. I say the league, in college football. Like, the dude is good. Whether I think he's interchangeable, whether it's a heavy man or a heavy zone scheme, as long as you have him playing press, because that guy, he wins those boxing matches at the line of scrimmage. The guy, he's got pretty decent lateral movement as well, so it's not like guys can, even if they get a quick get off, they're not going to beat him with just drag slants, you know. The guy, he's just good. He's just good. It's speed. Speed's going to be the thing that may hurt his stock, because some people think he's a 4.6. I think he could be a high 4.4 even, and it's even fine if he's a low 4.5. Like, I think that would make me more willing to put him ahead of Farley. Keep in mind what happened to Cameron Dantzler, who, just to say, a bit reminiscent. He put up 3 years of great production against SEC opponents. Ran a 4.6 something at the combine. He also measured with shorter arms than anticipated, but killed his stock. And now what is he doing? He had a couple of rough weeks, but I think he's definitely put up great play this year. And Vikings fans, you should be very confident going forward with Cameron Dantzler. Jeffrey Gladney, not so much. But again, they're rookie corners, so. Now, why Caleb Farley ahead of him? Let's go ahead and get into Caleb Farley. Because the dude has elite tools, and he had the production in 2019 to back it up. So he was able to opt out. A lot of people were like, oh, he's 1 year wonder. But again, those elite traits and elite tools, because he's got length, he's got athleticism, he's got speed. People love that crap, dude. Teams love that. That's what got CJ Henderson, who I think I had a mid to late first round grade on. That's what got him into the top 10. And if he goes and tests out like that at the combine, he's going to go in the top 10. All right, now I'm a bit hesitant with these two guys. I really like them a bunch, but I'm not willing to put them in the top 10 right now. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's just me, but Farley, he should have 4.3 speed, man. He's quick to get into the catch point. He primarily played in a zone heavy scheme there at Virginia Tech, but he was phenomenal. A lot of people say has injury concerns, but as far as I know, he only had in 2018. Let's actually look this up real quick. I don't want to butcher. I'm pretty sure they don't coincide with one another. It was a non-contact ACL tear in 2017. He missed the last 2 games of 2019 because of back spasms, which he was playing through the whole season anyway. So it's like those aren't one and the same. They really don't correspond with one another, unless he's got tight hammies, you know, because that'll hurt your back. I know that. So I'm not worried about that. Plenty of guys have come back from ACL tears. Like, yeah, I won't be too concerned with it. Probably the biggest thing that I would have liked seeing in 2020, outside of a repeat performance, was him to get better at flipping his hips, really. Because if people are gonna view him as this guy with elite traits that can play press, I know you're fast, but I'm gonna need you with guys like Tyreek Hill and such now in the league. These fast guys, even Darnell Mooney, man, that dude's solid. These quick guys that once they get behind you, they're not just speedy, but they're shifty. You want to be able to flip your hips quick and try to play those guys. You know, you can't be relying on your help, because sometimes your help ain't gonna be back there. Ooh, poor Carlton. What was it? Carlton Davis. Very good corner though. Tyreek Hill though, extremely good wide receiver. But that's it for the video. Actually, let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is a great class, and I really look forward to talking with you guys. As always, till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.